Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Kent City Council meeting for Tuesday, August 20th, 2024. If you could all please rise and join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Kim, could you please call the roll?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Mayor Ralph.
Here.
Council President Kaur.
Here.
Councilmember Boyce.
Here.
Councilmember Boyd.
Here.
Councilmember Fincher.
Here.
Councilmember Larmer.
Here.
Councilmember Michaud.
Here.
Councilmember Troutner.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Next item is the approval of the agenda. Are there any changes?
No changes from staff.
All right, hearing no changes, is there a motion to approve the agenda as published?
So move.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. That brings us on to public communications. We have nothing under public recognition this evening, but community events. Council President Kaur.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have events happening at Accesso Shower Center. September 11th, Seattle Thunderbirds are starting their preseason game. September 28th, T-Birds have home opener versus Wenatchee Wild. And October 5, Junior H is returning after the sold-out concert that got canceled in 2023. And October 13, KISW Halloween Hullabaloo starring Godsmack. And November 3 is Ramon Ayala happening at Shower Center. And if you have never been to Shower, please buy tickets on accessoshowercenter.com. And that is the end of events. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Fincher.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to remind people that the Spotlight Series is now up. You can buy your tickets, and remember, or if you didn't know, 4 tickets, if you buy 4 shows all at once, you get a 10% discount. That's available on the city website, and as we have done before, we have more recycling events coming up, so check the calendar on the city webpage.
All right. Brings us to the end of community events and right into our public safety report. Joining us tonight is Chief Padilla.
All right. Well, good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council. It's my pleasure to bring you this month's report. Lots of good stuff on this report, so I'll jump right into it. We'll start with the newest addition to our KPD family with the swearing in of Officer Adam Davis. If I could have Officer Davis come up front and center here. As you've seen, we've gone from hiring 6 and 7 and 9s to 1s and 2s, which is a good sign of stabilization of our staffing. But Officer Davis comes to us. He is a lateral police officer from Georgia with 6.5 years of prior experience. He's originally from Ellenwood, Georgia, born and raised there. He's married to his wife, Evan, for 6 years. She is at home right now tending to their newest child, their son, who was born 3 days ago. So she's there taking care of that. But his daughter is here in the audience. I'll let him introduce his family here shortly. His daughter, Everly, is here. She's now a big sister. Education, he's a Bachelor of Science degree in Criminal Justice from Clayton State University. Before Kent PD, he was an officer with the, I'm going to say this wrong, Gwinnett, I think, County Police Department. And his assignments included patrol, SWAT, and narcotics unit. Prior to that, he was with a private sector company preventing cargo theft and doing investigations on large thefts. So there's that. We asked him why he chose Kent. He said the great culture, the location, and the opportunities for growth and development here. Something interesting about himself, he noted that he is a big collector of comic books. They still make those, I think, right? Outdoor activities. Ladies and gentlemen, Officer Adam Davis. Adam, you brought some family with you. You want to introduce who's here for you tonight?
Yes, right back here, that's my mother, Jennifer, with my daughter, Everly, she's 2 years old, and my mother-in-law, Jean, right here. And wife's at home right now, just kind of recovering, but she definitely wishes she could be here, and I'm glad to get good photos for her.
Very good. Well, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Mayor Ralph, will you do the honors, please?
officially official.
Yes, ma'am.
If you could raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name,
I, Adam Davis,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the United States of America,
to the United States of America,
the state of Washington,
the state of Washington,
and the city of Kent,
and the city of Kent,
that I will uphold the Constitution and laws
that I will uphold the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and the state of Washington,
and the state of Washington,
and that I will obey the rules and regulations
and that I will obey the rules and regulations
of the Kent Police Department.
of the Kent Police Department.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
Right in the middle there. Or one of the two or both. Or three.
There's a paparazzi.
All right, y'all gonna freeze your face. Good.
Welcome. Congratulations, sir. All righty.
Welcome. You picked a great city. We have a great nerd fest in the fall, and you got big. Awesome. Welcome. Congratulations.
All right, man. Congrats again. Thank you. All righty. More good stuff. So I've got a series of awards to just inform everybody about, and these are related to the incident where Washington State Trooper Ray Seberg was shot back in February. We have a policy and a process that we go through for completing awards that includes a nomination, a review by committee, so it takes us a little while to get them done. So we are catching up with that now, and I think because it was so momentous, I still want to share what happened and who's getting what awards. So here we are. So first up is the Chief's Award for Exceptional Duty that's been presented already to Officer Matt Flesher and Officer Tristan Thomas. This award is awarded for excellence in police work or outstanding performance of duties under unusual, complicated, or hazardous conditions. So it's not just that they were doing their jobs, that typically this award is given to people that are literally in harm's way, life and death, while they're doing their job, and they do it anyway. So that's what sets it apart from other situations. As part of this, to condense down the record, Officer Flesher took action and was the first canine tracking team on the perimeter, set up. They tracked for several hours and eventually was led to the suspect, and the suspect was arrested. Officer Thomas was one of the first officers there, established a search team and arrest team, led that team, and was part of the group that took the suspect in custody. I should say, which I meant to say earlier, is that we all know that Trooper Seberg survived that. And so the outcome could have been very tragic, but thanks to the efforts of the people we're honoring tonight, he is alive and well. So both officers, along with several other Kent officers, displayed considerable courage in an effort to apprehend the suspect and are well deserving of this award. Life-saving medals. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. You get this medal when you save somebody's life, but it has to be specific action that you take that would have not resulted in the great outcome. So for this, we are awarding Officer Liam Bertolacci and Officer Nick DeVar this award. They were the first couple of officers to attend directly to Trooper Seberg. If you recall, he sustained 9 bullet holes. And so fortunately, we put on tremendous training, as we've talked about before. They followed their tactical combat casualty care training. That means they stuffed a lot of gauze, they put tourniquets, they checked for multiple holes, they did a ton of things while we waited for Advanced Life Medical to get there. Medics did arrive, and like I said, good story is we got him to the hospital and he's alive. So there was incredible work done to keep him going until he could get to the hospital. What's not in there is they additionally went to the hospital, spent hours with him there, went home, got some sleep, went back to the hospital, stood by his side and cared for him. It was kind of like they just kind of wanted to watch over him, see him through. So for that, very well deserving of this medal, and they are awarded the Life-Saving Medal. Last, and certainly not least, is the Chiefs Award for Professional Excellence. This award is given to employees who perform specific instances of high-level performance. Examples include specific high-profile investigations, like this one here, and completion of a difficult project or something similar. These two detectives are the first two of several to receive this award. What their role was, in addition to being woken up in the middle of the night and responding out to the scene, they dealt with a very chaotic situation, did as much work as they could to collect and preserve evidence there, canvass for video, talk to witnesses. That was several, probably 12 hours in the first night. And then what followed was 3 consecutive days of working this case straight to its end so they could file the charges and keep the suspect in custody. Literally, their breaks for the 3 days straight was just to go home and get some sleep and come back and start the case over. There's a tremendous amount of effort that goes into these cases, not just with Trooper Ray's instance, but all of our homicide shooting cases. This is the work that goes into it. So tremendous, a lot of pressure. You've got a law enforcement community there looking at you to get some results. Your peers are looking at you. It's a lot of pressure. And as our detectives always do, they came through very well, very deserving of this award. So I wanted to share and get them recognition for that. And this one, I'm going to have to do a little tap dance here, but I'm going to go through my notes on this because I think this is an incredible story. So we had asked Mr. Khalid's family, Farheen and his daughter Farhan, I think is how you pronounce it, to be here tonight. Obviously they couldn't make it, but I think the community should be aware of this. Mufti is receiving the Life-Saving Award, and I'll tell you what happened. Back on June 19, 2024, our officers responded to a CPR in progress call, meaning someone's dying, someone's trying to do CPR, get there and help. At Bridges and Russell Road. Upon arrival, they found Mufti Khalid there doing active CPR on a young man who happened to be his student. Mufti is a driving instructor, and his student underwent some kind of medical emergency and became unresponsive. So he called 911 right away and then performed CPR for several minutes until fire medics arrived and took over, and that young man is alive today. Wow. So extraordinary work. I didn't have the fortune of meeting Mufti, but having read about his efforts, seeing that he's a teacher, and he displayed incredible compassion and thankfully good skills. Somewhere he took CPR training, right, which I encourage everybody to do, by the way. And he was able to come through and save this young man's life. We are very grateful for his response to this urgent situation that directly contributed to this outcome. And here's where the twist is. Unfortunately, and I don't have the information, I probably wouldn't share it anyway because it's medical, not long after this incident, Mufti died from some kind of medical complication. So when we reached out to present the award, his children, Farheen and Farhan, were very excited to get this honor and wanted to be here. So that's the story. And we're going to circle back with that family, and we're going to get them this award. We'll just do it at a different venue. But I wanted to share that story. I think it's pretty incredible. So, all right. Crime Reduction Unit, CRU, CRU. You guys have heard me speak over the course of the last few years about our wanting to move more away from a reactive posture in terms of crime response, 911 calls and emergencies, to a more preventative, proactive, community-based patrol. We've also talked about, one of the ways to get us there is more staffing, which we're all working on. But we can't wait for that to come through, so we've been doing some creative restructuring in the department. This unit that we're standing up will come out of existing staffing. Okay, so the benefit of being stabilized is we can start moving things around and reallocating to priorities. So, because we are stable, tonight it's my pleasure to announce we are starting some big steps towards this specialized unit, Crime Reduction Unit. The name entails a little bit of what they will do, but their mission will be to use data information, intel, our crime stats, all of our information to drive response to hotspot policing and problem areas in our community. Unlike patrol officers, they will not be assigned to 911 calls. They can respond to emergencies, but their job is to be highly visible, to be in areas where we need them. Their job is to deter and prevent any crime that they can, and or take enforcement action that's needed when they see it. So that's going to be huge. The goal of the unit is to decrease or prevent crime and increase community engagement opportunities as well. Okay. The sergeant will consist of, the team will consist of a sergeant and 3 officers, along with a K-9 unit. Overseeing this unit will be Commander Josh Bava, and then Sergeant Sean Goforth has been assigned. We're doing selection process for the officers that will be on this unit, and the K-9 unit is Mark Robinson, who was in here just a little while ago. So we're putting together a really, really good team. Okay, this will be uniform, highly visible, like I said. So what can you expect from them? And it's already started. So think of drug trafficking hotspots. Think of stolen vehicle emphasis. Think of organized retail theft, racer details, community events. And they will support the work that's being done by NRT, patrol, SOU, and detectives, and other things that we discover they need to be doing. Just to get things kicked off, we don't even have officers assigned to this unit yet. The Sergeant Goforth put together a vehicle theft emphasis. They recovered 5 stolen vehicles last week and made 3 arrests just on their first 3 hours of operating. Okay, so that's the kind of work they're going to be doing. And another crime reduction emphasis is being planned as we speak. I don't want to give that away just yet, but more to come on that. So once we get fully operational, I expect crew is going to have some big impacts, and I look forward to reporting back in future months on what they're doing, and you'll see our social media posts and whatnot. So I'll pause there because that's something new. Any questions?
Any questions for the chief? I can tell you, I'm really excited for this group. The emails that we get from residents about particular areas and situations that are happening, I think it's going to be really effective in addressing those things and being proactive. It's a good feeling to be heading in that direction.
Yeah, I agree. And we're going to do it smart, right? We're going to do it smart. We'll have great oversight of this unit. That's why we put strong leadership to start with Commander Bava. So.
I don't see any hands raised.
Okay. Community Police Academy. It's that time again for registration. Registration is now open. For those that are not familiar with this, this is a course that we put on. It's a 10-week course that starts on October 1st. The classes are held every Tuesday evening. And it's a series that is straightforward, candid, regarding daily and specialized operations of the department, and really getting a behind-the-scenes look at what we do and why we do it the way we do. If you've ever wondered why there's 5 cops at this one area and you think there should be 2, this would be a great way to get that answered. But there's a wide range of topics that are discussed. You get to interact with our K-9, our traffic unit, narcotics investigation, gangs, community education. You learn about use of force. You do hands-on applications like building searches and traffic stops. Very interactive class and training, and we encourage everybody to apply. So check it out. Registration's open. Sessions do fill quickly. And like I said, we begin on October 1st. So there you go. New event, but I wanted to highlight this. We are starting a new community engagement thing. I say we, but I want to give credit to our neighborhood response team, and specifically Officer Jacob Berry. This was his idea. And you know, we're always looking for new ways to engage our community in non-enforcement capacities, right? Non-emergencies. Hey, let's just meet as people and talk about things. Well, there you have it. Officer Berry's very much into fitness, and there you go. So coming up September 19th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Imperial CrossFit right here, local business here on Meeker, 702 West Meeker. We're inviting everybody out for interaction and workout, and I don't know how that goes together because I'd probably just be breathing hard, but you know, they'll figure that part out. Looks like they're going to have snacks and good education on workout stuff, but also just good conversation about what's going on in the community. The registration for that, sorry, I didn't put it up there, but if you look for it, it said it's being registered through eventbrite.com. You could probably find it there, barbells and badges, new program. I think it's going to be pretty cool. So it's a good way to reach out to the community. And a big thank you, including everyone up here on the dais, all the staff from the departments in the city, volunteers. Specifically, want to recognize our community education unit, Sarah Wood and Stacy Judd, our multimedia team, our communications team. This is a big effort, and we had a fabulous National Night Out this year. 63 neighborhoods came together and fellowshipped and hung out and got to know each other and talked about what's going on in the community, which just makes us stronger, right? All of you were out there. I very much appreciate that, as always. And we had over 50 volunteers. That most of them are pictured there. That in that not so great picture I was able to find. I'm not so great in terms of you can't see too well. Yeah, another wonderful event. We end in the top 5 ranked cities in the country every year for our National Night Out. We really do it well, and I expect we'll be in the top 5 again this year. So don't forget, never too early to forget, first Tuesday of next August, guess what we're all doing? National Night Out. So more to come on that. So just a big thank you for all the work on that. And if you haven't seen our video on our Facebook site or the city website, get on there. It's pretty cool. There might be some assistant chief doing a splash in uniform down a big water slide or something like that. You should check that out. So, and that completes my report. And Mayor, I'll take any questions if there are any.
All right, Councilmember Boyce.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Madam Mayor. First of all, I just want to, you do a good job of recognizing your team. And I just want to just personally say thank you for your leadership. I mean, anybody that's here tonight or just watching what's going on, it's pretty clear that you and your team have found many, many ways to try to engage within the community, right? So, and I'll start with the top with you, and I always appreciate you. So I just want to just take a moment and give you a little credit, kudos for what you are doing for the city and really trying to find ways to really, get out in front of things. I mean, I like the fact that we've always been a reactive mode, but just to be in a proactive mode and have the flexibility with your staff to do different things. I'll be interested to see the data as time goes on, but I just wanted to say thank you for your leadership, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, Councilmember Boyd.
Yes, Chief. Like we talked about earlier, you have an officer who is outstanding, and I think what he was doing was proactive work. Because what we did, I did a ride-along yesterday, and what he was doing, he was going to hot spots. I mean, like he knew where to go, where cars were being dropped off, where stores were being vandalized. We even searched for a criminal while I was in the car, an armed criminal. And, he called in for backup and everything. But I gave you the guy's name, so I nominate him to be on this crew team, okay?
Okay.
So if you think about that.
It's gonna be stiff competition, but duly noted.
Yeah, you tell
that would
him
be Lovai Hong.
Yeah, you tell Councilmember Boyd recommended him, okay?
Okay, I will. I got it.
All right, any other questions? Council President.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Chief, for a positive report, and thank you for your leadership. And yes, Councilmember Boyd mentioned one officer. We've seen it every day, an amazing job your officers do with compassion, and we've all done ride-alongs on different days, and it's amazing experience to just see them out there, because the stories you hear sometimes are not so great out there, but then you interact with the officers and how they are out there serving our community. It's a very positive experience. I've always felt a positive experience, so thank you for leading that, and thank you to your leadership, and
Thank you. I've said this before, and so I feel like I should add this here. It is noticeable to our officers when their elected leaders support them and when they don't. I really think one of the biggest reasons we don't have as big a challenge to overcome in recruiting and hiring is the fact that people know that if you work for Kent, the leadership here, the mayor and the council, support them and back them up. We'll hold them accountable, make sure we're doing things the right way, but also on the flip side, support them when they need support. So I think that's why it works. So thank you.
All right. Thank you, Chief. We're going to move on to reports, an opportunity for everyone up here on the dais to report out on the activities and meetings that they attend outside of just the regular council meetings that are every other Tuesday. I have a couple of updates, one business related and then some fun things to report on. So we had our SCIP meeting this last week, presentation from Carl Schroeder from AWC, and the conversation was around housing and the bills that we can expect to see in the upcoming session, some of the things that were passed out in the last session, and as SCIP is working through their legislative agenda, think that we are landing in the same place that we were last year, more about supporting concepts, so access to affordable housing, those kinds of things, than specific bills. If you can imagine trying to get that many cities all on the same page when it comes to the detail of a given bill, it's a little bit challenging during the session, but really about supporting the access to affordable housing is where SCIP's legislative agenda is more than likely going to land. On to a couple of the fun things. So in the last 2 weeks, we've had visits from 2 of our sister city delegations. We've got youth ambassadors that do exchanges, both with Yangzhou, China. And so those students, their counterparts from China, as well as the students from Kent, were here for a visit. And then our students from Tamba, Japan, were here as well. You heard Officer Mark Robinson's name mentioned earlier. He was the photographer in the front row. This K-9 unit for crew. He is also the guest at those meetings with the students on the exchanges. Brought Atina, his K-9, in to meet with the students from China and Japan. Definitely a highlight. Probably even more fun than them getting to sit up here where you all sit and use the gavel. That is also something that I find that our students visiting love to do. It's amazing how loud this gavel is when you put it in the hand of a 14, 15, 16-year-old. So really good visits. It's not a secret, I'm a huge fan of our Sister City program and those student exchanges and those lifelong relationships that they create. So definitely encourage everyone watching, keep an eye out for those opportunities in the next coming school year. They're 2-week exchanges, and again, it's just an opportunity to experience another culture, but to meet people one-on-one, become a part of a family, and really develop those relationships. So really appreciate the work that are done by our committee of volunteers for our Sister City programs. Also had an opportunity to visit with the Youth Policy Council from Living Well Kent. A group of maybe 15 or 20 students came in, and we just spent about an hour and a half talking about city government, talking about how they can get involved in policy making and action and volunteerism in their community. I really, really enjoy the Living Well Kent group every time we get a chance to interact, because they are so committed to being such an important part of our community, and grateful for all of their questions. Last thing I have to report today, we held Congressman Adam Smith came to Kent City Hall and held a space sector business roundtable. So we had representatives from Stoke Space, Starfish Space, Power Light Technologies, and Leo Stella Satellite Company. And the Congressman really just wanted to hear from our local space employers on how they can be supported, what they need. A lot of conversation around procurement and how challenging it is with the federal government. When you're talking about a startup company, 3 years from award to getting that funding doesn't always make sense. The businesses have a challenge in that, and it's such a quickly evolving industry. But very grateful for the Congressman to come and meet with those employers. Mayor of Tukwila, Mayor McLeod, was also here, and we just talked about how as government we can support those businesses in that emerging technology. Finally, Chief made a plug for Community Academy. I'm going to also do the same thing. Kent 101 is starting again September 19th. It's our Kent civics class. Each week we hear from a different department and help our residents gain a deeper understanding of what we do here at the city, the things, services that we can provide, and the services that maybe are not things that we can provide. So it's a great class. A lot of future board members and volunteers come out of those classes, and you can sign up for that on our city website. With that, I'm going to look to Pat Fitzpatrick for our CAO report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Quickly, just let you know that we continue to work on the budget. Budget presentation by the mayor will be on September 23 at 5 p.m. The mayor and I continue to meet with along with the finance department, with the other departments, and we're fine-tuning everything to get the budget finalized and ready for presentation. Other than that, the rest of my report is in the agenda packet. Thank you.
All right, Council President.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We had our council workshop earlier today. We had 2 topics. We got an update on 2044 Comprehensive Plan Preferred Alternative Future Land Use Map. And we also had informational presentation on Behavioral Health Facilities Project. And all that presentations, both those presentations are on our Facebook page and City's Kent TV 21. They can be watched, and we will be probably voting on these in October. I also serve on King County Domestic Violence Regional Task Force, and we're actually meeting on September 10, 7:30 to 9 here at Kent City Hall. So I would like to invite my colleagues here if they want to join in and just say hi and participate. I think it'll be a great meeting on September 10th. That is all my update, and I will be looking to my left here, Councilmember Troutner.
Thank you, Council President. I sit on the Regional Transit Committee, and we met on July 17th. During that meeting, we talked about prioritizing future routes in South King County. And during that conversation, it was recognized that 2 routes, Kent qualifies for 2 routes in the top 3 tiers. So as we've seen during COVID, Kent continues to have strong ridership and increased ridership. So it was really great to see those routes recognized. Route 150 that will take people from Kent, South Center to Seattle, and then in Tier 3, Route 165, which will take commuters from Highline Community College to Kent and then Green River Community College. So again, it's great to see Metro recognize Kent when they're prioritizing lines. I also sit on the Puget Sound Regional Fire Authority Governance Board. I am vice chair of that committee. I sit on that with Councilmember Boyd and Councilmember Larmer. Seems like a long time, but we met back on July 17th. Lots of things happened at that meeting. We had a life-saving award that was presented to a young woman that performed CPR at her place of work and actually saved someone's life. There was also a promotion for captain and several engineer promotions. We had promoted someone to the Citizens Advisory Committee, and that member is from Tukwila. So as Tukwila has joined the RFA, it's nice to welcome new members to participate in that committee. During the chief's report, the Kirkland Fire Department has joined the training consortium. That now makes 5 agencies that train with the RFA. That group has really grown and provided great training services across the South Sound. We also talked a little bit about the job fair and the CPR event that happened during Cornucopia Days. For those of you that were able to attend, it gave you those life-saving skills. And as you heard the chief talk about earlier, just knowing how to perform CPR can save a person's life. The RFA also participated in their reaccreditation on August 6th, and I'm happy to say that they were awarded that reaccreditation for 5 more years, which is a great achievement. And then lastly, something that we'll also talk about in new business today, but the governance board unanimously approved a deed to transfer the Washington Avenue property back to the city of Kent. And if some of you can recall, at the time of the formation of the RFA, the city and the fire department agreed that the city would transfer the Washington Avenue property to the RFA. But the plan was that if the RFA wasn't going to use that property, that they would give it back to the city of Kent. So I had asked for this to happen several years ago, and with the leadership of Chief Carson, conversations with the mayor and other city staff, I'm very happy to say that that is happening, and our board unanimously voted to return that property back. So again, we'll talk about that later this evening. And that is all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Troutner. Councilmember Michaud, please.
Thank you, Madam President. I serve on the Regional Law, Safety, and Justice Committee, and we had 2 briefings. The first one was from this nonprofit. They host this thing called Barbershop Series, and it's for King County deputies and Seattle Police Department, they have a training program where they bring new recruits and formerly incarcerated people together to have a discussion. And that's part of their training program for new recruits for those two organizations. And then we also got a briefing from the King County Executive Leadership Advisory Group, Regional Office of Gun Violence and Prevention. And they are a group that, okay. One of the things they do is that they have those gun lockbox distributions, and they hold some other things trying to get out the information about gun violence prevention. And then lastly, we had a briefing about the crisis care clinic in Kirkland that is now open. I also serve on the Washington Tree Equity Collaborative Steering Committee, and we worked on our work plan for the year. And then we also talked about Tacoma is actually proposing tree ordinances for private property as part of their comprehensive plan. So we had a discussion about how that's going for them. And then lastly, the Tree Equity Collaborative has a website that analyzes the tree equity in Washington in different layers. We've seen something similar for the city of Kent, so we're just trying to make that website better.
Thank you, Councilmember Michaud. Councilmember Larmer, please.
Thank you, Council President. So I serve on the King County Aging and Disabilities Advisory Board, and there was a meeting on Friday, August 9th. Unfortunately, due to my work schedule and summer schedule, I was not able to attend. But there was a presentation from the Puget Sound's One Call, One Click Find a Ride system. It's associated with HopeLink. If anyone's interested, they can find that information on agingkingcounty.org. And that is the end of my report.
Thank you, Councilmember Larmer. Councilmember Boyce, please.
Councilmember Larmer, I was on vacation, so I didn't go to two meetings. I missed my first national night out in about 10 years. So I'm still hurting for that. But just quickly on our meeting tonight, we had a couple of bills that we passed. One was just around, we have the Exxon who body camera, right? We got some new software to that system to really kind of assist the officer to do the job better. And then also we passed the Fifth Amendment agreement. I'm not sorry, not the Fifth Amendment agreement, but it was the Project Be Free, which is a professional service agreement. And Project Be Free is a nonprofit organization responsible for domestic violence, right? Education, programming, and then working closely with co-respondents. So they pretty much work closely with our police departments on the domestic violence calls. So we were happy to see the grant, receive the grant. So they'll be working together to hopefully reduce some of this domestic violence. That's all I have, Madam.
Thank you, Councilmember Boyce. Councilmember Boyd, please.
Yes, I'd like to also repeat again about National Night Out. It was my first National Night Out. And thanks to the chief, I was paired with Commander Tung, a professional who showed me around. We went to 3 spots over on East Hill, and we had a good time. We talked to a lot of people, and I got a lot of knowledge about what goes on within the police car, what goes on with the interaction between police and communities. And also, I serve on the RFA Governance Board with Councilmember Troutner and Larmer. And on the 15th of August, I had the opportunity to go see the new fire truck. It's like a hybrid. It's built by Pierce Voltner, and it's an amazing truck. It's a little bit larger, probably 2 foot larger than the normal regular rig. And what tops it off was that I actually had the opportunity to ride in the truck. They took me a ride along and around the block, and it was great. We transitioned from electricity down to diesel, and the transition was extraordinary. Also, and that was coordinated by Chief Jones. Also, on August the 17th, me and Councilmember Larmore, we attended the picnic with the RFA, and we had a great time. Great food, great friends, great people, and enjoyed it. And then after that, I went to the Cajun picnic, where I didn't eat that much because I was basically full from the from the picnic from the RFA. But I also had a good time there too. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Boyd. Councilmember Fincher, please.
Thank you, Council President. King Conservation District, big news there is that we are still working toward getting everything on the regular ballot, also still looking at rates and charges. The annual report has been completed also, or finished, so we've had our last review of that. Mental Illness and Drug Dependency Advisory Committee, we meet on Thursday. Public Works, we talked about the new gauges. We actually tonight talked about the new gauges, and these are gauges that measure out the depth of water, the amount of water coming through our rivers. Gauges are set up at certain areas or certain points in the river to tell how deep it is for flood control and flood warning system. We partner on those. Some of those we pay ourselves, and we get help from the USGS, Auburn, and the city of Tukwila on specific ones, not on all. So we had that. We renew that. Generally, I believe it's annually, maybe every couple of years, but that is one of the normal things that we see come through pretty regularly. And then that also leaves the Arts Commission. For Arts Commission, we had Splash, which was a big event. If you went, you noticed that the concert that not Splash, I'm thinking about Splash, talking about the concert for the summer series. So the stage was moved. There's a brand new stage, larger than the other ones. It's now in sort of this bowl, though, so you don't quite see the water from there, but talked about the pros and cons of the new location, already looking forward to next year, and thinking about what we will do for next year. And then there are, for people who have asked about the traffic box down by the 167 freeway entrance heading northbound, that will be replaced soon. The new artists have been selected for the new series of traffic signal boxes, and that is one of them that will be back up and running. The box is there. The art wrap will be coming shortly. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Fincher. As you can see, Madam Mayor, all my colleagues here are extremely busy serving residents of Kent in different capacities. And with that, back to you.
All right, thank you very much. We will move on the agenda. Public hearing is the next item. We do not have one, so that brings us down to public comment. Public comment period is an opportunity to speak to the council and mayor on issues that relate to the city of Kent or agenda items the council will consider. This is not an open public forum, and comments that do not relate to the business of the city of Kent are not permitted. Additionally, the state of Washington strictly prohibits people from using the public comment opportunity for political campaign purposes, including to support or oppose ballot measures or candidates for public office. Do ask that you direct your comments to the council as a whole, and remarks intended to target any individual on the dais are not permitted. Finally, again, this is a public comment period, so there will not be any back and forth conversation. We do allow 3 minutes for public comment, and when you come to the podium, if you could state your name and city of residence for the record. Kim, could you call our speakers, please?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have one person signed up to speak. Emmanuel Shurchenko is going to speak on behavioral health.
Hello. Honorable City Council members, my name is Emmanuel Shurchenko, Kent, Washington. I want to introduce myself. I'm the director of a new behavioral health facility called Evergreen Haven. I just wanted to put a name to the face because I look forward to meeting all of you in the upcoming weeks regarding our facility. And I want to thank Councilmember Brenda for finding the time to meet with us as well. So I'm going to try to cram in everything in 3 minutes. Today, I want to briefly address a crucial issue that affects the most vulnerable members of our community, our children. We propose to establish voluntary residential assisted living home. Our focus is on helping children who are minors struggling in behavioral health, including those on the autism spectrum and those who have experienced brain trauma. Because we select the children that come to our facility, these are not children with violent tendencies. They're simply individuals who, like any child who might have had a bad fall or a bump on the head while playing. and they just need a little bit of extra support to navigate their unique challenges. Behavioral health providers have long demonstrated their safety and benefits within residential communities. Our discussions with the Department of Commerce reveal that actual risks posed by these facilities are mostly unsubstantiated fears. In fact, actual studies, not just focus groups, show that neighbors of these facilities are often a greater danger to the facility residents than the residents are to the neighbors. I urge you to question the fears and misconceptions perpetuated about behavioral health facilities. Ask you to demand concrete evidence and proof of any actual dangers proposed by these voluntary facilities. Instead, consider the overwhelming evidence supporting these community benefits. Our children's facility in particular should not be treated the same as adult facilities. It is also very important not to lump voluntary facilities together with involuntary facilities. Mental health issues are part of life and must be talked about. Statistically, 50% of people experience mental health disorders at some point, meaning half of you in this room. So our inclusivity of different mental health spectrums is crucial to the aspect of a diverse community in Kent. A diversity that includes not only racial and ethnic spectrums, but also variations in mental health spectrums. As community leaders, you have a pivotal role in ensuring that our actions reflect the values of inclusivity, support for everyone in our communities. I urge you to be cautious that under the well-intentioned banner of community safety, we do not inadvertently segregate the most vulnerable members of our community, especially our innocent children. I ask you to consider the true impact of our facility on the community, to support it in it as a positive and necessary resource, and let us not be swayed by the unfounded fears, but instead stand firm in our commitment to inclusivity and care. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I have no one else signed up to speak.
All right. Thank you, Kim. Okay, we will move on in the agenda to the consent calendar. This evening we have items A through G. These are issues that Council has considered at Committee of the Whole, had an opportunity to ask questions, and they have passed out without controversy. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. That brings us down to other business. This evening we have one item, resolution accepting Washington Avenue property from the RFA, and joining us this evening is Adam Long.
Good evening, Council and Mayor Ralph. As Councilmember Troutner indicated earlier, we have some good news out of the RFA. Kim, do you have a presentation? Can you slide that? Oh, too fast. So here to ask you to authorize that transfer.
Okay.
If you look at the top left here, we've got the property there. It's got the trees and nice square lot, and we have an easement that goes across the other two lots. Just a little bit of brief history. In 2006, the city purchased the property. It was a former emissions facility, and that's why you see that interesting roundabout with the building in the middle. 2010, when the RFA was formed, we then sold the property to the RFA for $1. And then we leased that back from the RFA for storage purposes. And then this year, the RFA determined it no longer needs it. But we're not getting it for nothing. Based on the original interlocal agreement and the associated RFA plan, we got to pay $1 for it. But after that, we'll, if you guys authorize the transfer, we'll execute a quitclaim deed and the property will be back to the city.
Any questions? Any questions for Adam?
Do we have that in our budget?
I actually have a special presentation that will answer that question. So if there are no questions, thank you, Adam, for the presentation. What I have in front of me here is the $1 that will go back to the RFA. It will become official. I'm looking down at CAO Pat Fitzpatrick. This was his idea, contribution here. Very grateful.
It's also my dollar.
I was
so
just
the
going to
city's
say his
getting off.
contribution. So this is from Pat. Want to make sure that this is absolutely official. I want to start with a list of thank yous. So Pat and Chief Carson have been working on this for a while, and it's as the fact that we were able to get to this point really is a testament to the relationships and partnership that we have with the RFA. Huge thank you to Councilmember Boyce for your long tenure on the RFA board and really making sure that the city and the RFA work as partners, and that's always how it's intended to be. Councilmember Boyd, Councilmember Larmer, my hope is that we continue that relationship that allows things like this to work. Council member Vice Chair Troutner, I am going to present this to you to take to the RFA meeting tomorrow night so that this can become official on both sides. Want to say thank you for your leadership at the RFA and continuing that commitment. Again, we are two separate organizations, but we serve the same public. And so being able to come to agreements like this seems like a very small thing, but it took a long time to get here. And it's through those relationships, the commitment and the dedication to each other as organizations that we're able to see this be accomplished. And I am very, very grateful for that. So Pat, thank you. Councilmember Boyd, Boyce, two different, yeah. Councilmember Larmer, and Council Member Troutner, again, thank you for your work and your commitment to the RFA and making sure that we continue to be partners.
Awesome.
The resolution?
Yes, let's do the resolution and then we'll pass that out. So I completely missed that part. Thank you. So we have a resolution tonight accepting the Washington Avenue property from the RFA.
Madam Mayor, I move to adopt resolution number 2075, authorizing the mayor to accept the Washington Avenue property from the Regional Fire Authority and authorizing the mayor to sign all necessary documents.
I second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, motion carries. Now I'm going to hand the plaque to Councilmember Troutner. There you go. Yeah, I think it's applause worthy. I do. So, yeah. So, all right. That couple items on the agenda. Bids, we do not have any this evening. Executive session, we also do not have an executive session. So that brings us to the bottom of the agenda. Want to wish everyone happy last couple of weeks of summer. Our kids are heading back to school here very shortly. So as you're out and about, make sure that you're paying attention for those kiddos that are going to be walking to school. Help each other, keep them safe, and want to wish them all a very happy first day of school. Hard to believe we're at the end of summer already. I mean, the weather is helping us believe that. But that being said, if there's nothing else for the good of the order, we are adjourned.